Hi, it's Billy Tarasio from Modern Law Practice. And today we're going to talk about the values exercise and discovering your values and why it matters and why it's important. Your values are the key to determining what it is that sets you apart from others, what it is, who it is you should be hiring, who it is you should be working with. And for most of us, this comes down to hiring. Why is it that some employees fit and some employees don't? They could be great employees, but they just don't fit. It's just not working. And most often that reason, well, pretty much always, that reason is values. So for someone to work for you or with you, they have to get it, understand their job, get it, want it, and have the capacity to do it. Get it means they understand their job. They understand the role they have in the organization. Want it means they want to spend the time necessary to do what needs to be done, and they want to execute the job functions that they understand. And then there's capacity. They have to have the ability to execute their job. And you could understand your job, you could want to do your job, but you could be unable to execute. And if any one of those three things are not there, then you really shouldn't hire someone, and you should figure out a way to move people along if they're working for you and they don't get it, want or have the capacity to do it. But, and that's all well and good. But the real hack is in determining your values and in figuring out how to articulate them so that you know why it is some people fit and some people don't. And this is an exercise that we have done with law firms that are modern law practice clients, and that I have done in my own firm. And that one of the things that I'm doing here coming up very soon is 6 steps to creating your perfect law firm. And one of those is drafting your constitution. And a large part of drafting your constitution is determining your values. What is it that you stand for? So, for instance, yes, being able to communicate your values to the people who are following you makes you a better leader. But this is hard to figure out. It's not on the surface. Now, we've had some modern law practice clients that have really looked at my values for my law firm and been like, those sound great, let's do that. It just doesn't work that way. You have to go through the exercise of figuring out who you are. And so here's how we do that. First, we ask people to just start talking. What do you like about the people you work with? What do you like about your clients? What would your clients say about you? What are your beliefs about how things should be? What are the spiels you're usually giving to people? And things, patterns will start to emerge. And so you just write them down. You write down everything. You're just brainstorming. So it's, we like clients who respect us. Well, yes. I mean, so some of them are super, super obvious and not all that insightful. But as you keep going with the exercise, it becomes insightful. And you come to things like, we're non-judgmental. We're a law firm that does not judge our clients. We're a criminal defense firm. This is true for one of the clients that we're working with. So it took us, 3 hours into the exercise for them to articulate, we don't judge. And this is a fundamental core belief of theirs. They will represent people who have done pretty awful things, and they have committed not to judging people. And so if they have people on their team who are very judgmental, who are judging one another, who are judging the clients, they're simply not going to meet with the culture. So how do you do the exercise? You just start writing, you just start thinking, you just start brainstorming. Don't expect this to be a quick process, but write down what it is that you like. Do you like clients that are empowered? Do you like empowering clients? Do you like working with people who want to do things themselves? Do you like working with people that just hand it over to you? Do you like working in a very independent environment or a very collaborative environment? Do you value perfection? Do you value hard work in and of itself, or do you value results? Like, there's no right or wrongs on these, but where you stack up will determine who you should be hiring. So and what your policies should be. So if you value hard work and you want things to be as good as they can be, as close to perfection as possible, then a loosey-goosey attendance policy might not work for you. If you and you want people who are going to work at least 40 hours, you have to articulate that, because your employees want to meet your expectations, but you have to articulate your expectations. If your expectations are, I expect you to follow these rules, and then, you know, after that it's art. You need to articulate what those rules are, where the art begins and where the rules stop. So when I went through this exercise with modern law, we found a lot of things, although it's a living document, it's an ongoing exercise. But one of my values is growth. And that's why I'm constantly experimenting. I'm constantly changing. And my employees know if they work for me, they're signing up for a process that will never end. So if you're an employee who is one of these people that's just like, tell me how to do so I can do my job well, and I have those people, they need to understand the mind shift of, yeah, we're going to do it well, but we're never going to be satisfied with the status quo. And that's just how it is. Like, if you can't get comfortable with the uncomfortable nature of constant growth, then this isn't a good fit for you. And, you know, I like loosey-goosey things like whole health. So I like to take into account a lot of different factors in determining what the best outcome is for any individual situation. So I'm not a rules person. I'm not really a black and white person. I'm more of a principles person. And being able to articulate that and then articulate your principles makes it easier for people to follow you, easier for people to understand you. And it makes you attract the clients that are attracted to the way that you practice. So I hope that that is helpful. I know that it's kind of a sticky, intangential way of looking at things, but this is critical. And so if you haven't done this yet, you've got between now and the end of the year, and start off and set this deadline for yourself, but live with it and spend the entire time doing it. So here's what I think you should do. You should write down on a bunch of sticky notes all these things that matter to you. Punctuality, whatever it is. Any adjectives that are important to you, write them down. Collaborative, cooperative, flexibility, accountability, teamwork, whatever it is, write it down, take your sticky notes, put them on your wall, live with it, look at them, like distill them down into patterns and themes, because there will be patterns and themes. And then think about articulating those patterns and themes in terms of what does this mean in terms of how I practice law, so between me and my clients, and what does this mean in terms of the business I've created? What are the expectations that I have of my staff and my employees? What can they expect of me, and what can I expect of them? And you're beginning to form this contract where you're now a leader that people can follow, because you've said what you mean and you've been able to articulate who you are. So good luck on this process. It is not easy, but I can tell you it's completely and totally worth it. It's a game changer. You can now look back on the people that have worked in your firm that haven't worked out, and you've said, oh, they were super judgmental. One of my fundamental core beliefs is non-judgmental, and they were super judgmental. No wonder there was constant tension. Tension comes from misaligned values. So good luck. Take it seriously. Take your time. Don't rush through it. Think about it in the shower. Think about it when you've had one beer. Be creative and give yourself time and space to just ponder this, and then draft that values, the Bill of Rights, that section of your Constitution. And if you want to know more about the other sections of the Constitution, there's definitely another video, and pretty soon we'll have a course online that is these 6 steps that you need to build your law firm. And there's going to be a mini video too that I will record very soon. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. Please remember to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye.